At this point, I'm convinced I should just be afraid. Be very, very afraid about whatever is waiting for me from now and forever in future stories from STYX, animatics, animations, artwork, whatever we want to call them, because it's been a journey of me just kind of being forever shocked and surprised. You'd think that would have stopped by now, but no, it just gets worse. It really does. So let's just move on to my Persephone and see whether or not I remain standing at this point. Like, I swear, at some point I'm just gonna have to end up sitting for my own goddamn safety. I'm afraid I'm gonna pass out from all the shocks I'm having. I am expecting to see more Hades in his suit and tie, because that does seem to sort of just be now his given look. I have been told that I guess this is based on a look that was done prior to the creation of Stories from STYX. This has to do with like a verse that was done for like if Hades were in God games. Which, like, again, Hades have never should have. Look, if you're gonna do God games, I can tell you different gods could have been chosen and very many different things could have been said. And again, Hades wouldn't be there. I mean, Hades doesn't even show up at all in the Odyssey. We talk about going down to Hades, as in the location, because Hades as a word, Hades, means both like the god and can mean just the underworld, like the location. So there's always that. So like, yeah, they go to Hades, but the location, not the guy. Anyway, let's see my Persephone. I want to see some more beautiful Persephone art. Now I understand clearly being modeled after Tegan, who is equally gorgeous. This was a thing that was unknown to me till last video. It's fine. Do love these title cards. Like, A+ on the title cards. They're really pretty.
Maiden, bring me.
Okay, ZionReverb. SL. I love. This is very beautiful. What I really love most, the colors on these shafts of light that are coming in are so pretty. Like, that is my look. Light. Like your lighting, chef's kiss. I mean, we all remember when I was talking about Mr. Gameron's work for Epic, and I was just like nerding out over him. How like this looks like goddamn Caravaggio, and like, I mean, just the lighting, light and color, and the interplay. Like, that's the sauce. That's the good stuff.
Be my dream and drowning souls. Have you changed the rules? And now you're mine. I ask of you, be true. Will you reflect me?
Cryo?
Inside this
yeah, we are definitely in the suit and tie look. Interesting. Not entirely sure who these are all supposed to be. Like, part of me wants to guess I mean, could just be random nymphs or something. I mean, maybe these are souls. I mean, the endings of their, like, forms kind of looks like ghost trails, if you will. One's holding a lyre, so maybe... Or if you're saying Eurydice? I don't know who the others would be, though. And they might not be representing anybody at all, honestly. Cute. I don't know, I was just sort of caught my attention being like, what are these? But also, again, we're back in the shades of blue. Look, I'm loving the shades of blue. Blue is my favorite color family, we'll call it. Shades of blue are my favorites. Oh, these are definitely stories. Okay. I'm gonna like scroll very slowly, as slowly as I can through this. This look like two dudes hugging. Oh. Achilles and Patroclus, right? You've gone with the idea that they are lovers. You know, actually, unless those two hugging each other are Castor and Polydeukes, or the Roman equivalent being Castor and Pollux, who are the Dioscuri, who also known, again in Latin known as the Gemini. And their story, again, scattered across many different things, is absolutely fascinating because they are, there's a Latin term for basically twins with different fathers. Kind of depends on who you read. Are they sons of Tyndareus? Are they both sons of Zeus? Is one of Zeus? Is one of Tyndareus? And they kind of split immortality so that at the end, like, Zeus kind of makes that deal. Which that would kind of make sense because obviously when they both sustain like seemingly mortal wounds in the same incident, which involves them fighting with their cousins over whether it be women first and then cows later. It's kind of, it's almost ridiculous when you read the whole story because it is, they're stealing cattle from their cousins. They both get essentially mortally wounded, but if you go with the idea that one of them, usually almost always Polydeukes, is the one who is a son of Zeus, who is essentially in some way got a little bit of the divine like potential sauce going in there, and Zeus says, hey, I could offer you immortality. He basically makes a deal with Zeus that like, I'd actually like to split that with my twin, and so we like half the time spent hanging out with the gods or just hanging out on, you know, up above in the mortal world, half the time in the underworld. Again, depends on who you read. Legit could be that. When it comes to like pairs of men, I mean, besides like twins, which are, there's quite a few of them, looking like this, actually Castor and Pollux definitely comes to mind, and I think that would be interesting. Someone holding a flower. Hyacinthos, who is said to have, he's got a discus to the head. Sorry, that's a funny way to go. Look, there's ridiculous, 6 million either terrible and ridiculous ways to die in Greek myth. A discus to the head is kind of funny. Sorry, not sorry. I maybe that's it. I'm not entirely sure. There's nothing that gives me a reference as to who or what they're supposed to be. Like, there's no real particular explicit details. I mean, other than the guy with the lyre and the gal, which I have to assume is Orpheus and Eurydice because it's just such a famous story. That's what I'm gonna go with. I don't know. Again, unless I get confirmation from somebody like who exactly are those people, I could say more. But okay.
Tell me it never ends. So will you be?
Although also, none of those shades should technically, well, definitely not Castor and Paula. Yeah, no, none of those shades should technically be there. Sorry, I'm not over these random shades who I'm supposed to guess who they are. None of them should actually be there. Again, as much as the timeline is soup in the world of Greek mythology, wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey stuff. Persephone is definitely there before all of them hit the underworld. I mean, especially if you're looking at Castor and Polydeukes, who were dying after Orpheus and Eurydice, because, Orpheus was an Argonaut. Hyacinthos, if that's who that was, is again earlier than Castor and Polydeukes, or even Achilles and Patroclus, because Castor and Polydeukes die a little before Achilles and Patroclus, who of course died in the Trojan War. So I'm like, yeah, that's so late in the timeline of like the heroic age of the mythology. I should not get lost in the weeds of time and space. But again, I love the idea of references, but when we're talking about this is supposed to be their first time, like, having a chat in the underworld, Hades and Persephone, none of those specific souls would be there. None of them are there yet. Nowhere close, even.
My Persephone, my Persephone.
Aww. Cute.
Ooh, King of Night, please don't forget. STYX can offer you reflection. Shadows still have arms to hold. Death is plenty to
Vanna Bloom.
hold with stars.
Yeah. I see the symbol on his jacket. Very nice. Some really beautiful artwork, especially in these beautiful splash pages. Like really pretty brushwork and everything else. I think I like some of the still images almost even more than some of the animatics. Like, no shade to the animators. I just like, one still image gives me a lot more to kind of dig into, and some of them have just been really beautiful in styles that I haven't seen before.
As you may feel, I'll be your queen, not some ideal. For beauty shackled me above. Down here I'd like to build a love. Do you truly see me? Will you uplift me? You're one true queen. I too have storms inside this chaos bound by.
Again, love the background work.
Rivers and surfaces painted with sins of
Great
the
rim lighting.
past. Only you and I can truly make it last. Just keep me free, and I will be Persephone.
Ooh. Gigi, a full color Gigi.
Could it turn Persephone?
There's just flowers behind her. Cute. Wow, it's wild to see Gigi in full color. Oh, the flowers. Flowers blooming in time with those piano chords, which we know I love these chords. I see you, details.
So will you be my
Spin shot! Knew there had to be one. Nice zoom in on it.
Persephone?
Aww, cuties. Super cute. Oh, great transition out, actually. A+. Gigi, I did not expect a little animated transition out, but I like that. That was really pretty. Wow, Gigi in full color. I was not prepared for Gigi in full color. Loved still getting a Gigi little spin shot, and from a from a nice low angle. Very nice. Lovely. Again, the part that sort of got me stuck were those like little groups of who were clearly supposed to be famous mythological characters who are past, which again, I briefly looked at the description, didn't see anything telling me what they were, and again, the song doesn't really hint at them meaning to be anything, so I kind of had to spitball in the dark. And again, yes, none of those shades would be there. If they're any of the ones that I mentioned, almost sort of regardless, like, they just wouldn't be there. Persephone would have had to have been in the underworld for a good while. But really beautiful art. I mean, again, one thing I am enjoying is seeing a lot of artists I haven't seen before, and so there's different styles and the use of, just the beautiful splash pages and the work that's being done there with different styles. I think really, it brings something to the table. It does. I mean, obviously there's consistency in terms of character design and character design elements, but beyond that, like, it's just kind of nice to see all the different art styles. That's something I'm definitely always here for, and I feel a little spoiled by. But that would mean, we just have There Is No Name left. And so I'm very curious to see Demeter's design and see how people, or how whoever Casper chose to do the art envisions and visualizes the parts where she's, furiously self-absorbed and being a narcissistic, overbearing, abusive. Yeah, we don't need to keep going. I think we all know that Demeter's got some issues. Her and Thetis. How did I end up with another video where I mentioned that her and Thetis in competition for who's the most helicopter potentially toxic parent? Yeah, maybe not the most toxic parent, but definitely helicopter parent. There's a lot of toxic parents in Greek mythology. Again, don't look to Greek myth for ideals on relationships. Pretty much ever. Ever. Don't do it. They are not your standard or your ideal, basically ever. But okay. And then after that, I guess that means I go into volume 2 after that. Ooh, because volume 2 is new. I know it dropped at the end of April. I have no idea what it's about. I'm wondering if it's one where, like, obviously I'm assuming we're leaving the Hades and Persephone story. Like, we've kind of closed that out. I'm wondering if it's going to be one where I can look at the titles and, like, guess what it's about. I'm excited.